Two. Hello, everyone. It's Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk. And today I have special guest Ivanteller and my co-host Chad Cooper. Hello, Ivan. How are you? Hi, Chad.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. Hello.
So I first came to know of you through Chad about maybe 2 months ago or so. And I listened to some of your recordings and I found it very fascinating because I'm also a channeler and I'm always receiving things, you know, and sometimes I'll write them down. Sometimes I'll just make videos and it's like, wow, a lot of the things that you say intertwine with what I've been going through and what I've been finding out. So how are you, Ivan?
Oh, doing good. Yeah, I hear your cat in the background.
Oh, yes.
Mine are somewhere.
Whenever I start my show, she rings the bell. She wants to go outside. I'm like, no, not right now. We have a show going.
Usually mine turn on the background. It's not late enough for that. I have two. Yeah. So Priscilla and Fritzy. So yeah. We take turns turning down the background.
So Ivan, I wanted to see your view on this. I recently figured out through just watching Voyager and just thinking to myself, Voyager meaning with the Ashiana Dean and Terra Papers, and I gave a class on the bloodlines, and I came to a point where obviously I knew that we were more than super soldiers, but I came to a conclusion that I'm no longer going to be part of the Star Wars, the program that is supposed to be, it's already here, but Trump was supposed to disclose that when he came up with the space, flag and space station.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I said, now I know that there's a program within a program. I'm not going to fight with them anymore or for them, but I am fighting for Mother Earth. I'm still fighting for the innocent. I'm still fighting in the Regenesis program that Ashiana Dean talks about, because I know that I'm a crystal being. I know that I'm bioluminescence. I know that I am everything and nothing, and I've been here before, and I'm higher than the angelic realms. I'm also a traveler, just as Chad. He's been in my memory. So it's just one of my purposes is to also kind of break the religious programming as well, and that's taking a twist right now. So, sure, Ivan, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, the secret space program. Obviously, the real space program, whatever it is, they'll remove people, if you really know something. I feel like a lot of people are going through traumas of being abducted. So there is truth to it. I mean, you wouldn't be having those memories of things like that in the past. And so there is, it's getting a little bit commercialized more than usual. And like Max Spears felt very real. And then you end up, dying. It's a serious situation. He started talking more about it. I know the whole story about it, but I remember when he died. So, but not these days, I mean, it's a personal journey for many. So not to, overshadow that, but,
right.
But yeah.
I thank you. I feel that when I went to the secret space program in the conference in March, when I gave the talks, I figured out who the players were. I called out a bunch of people out, and I'm like, you guys are triple agents, and I'm here to take over Max Spears's pretty much journey. I later on that year discovered that what he was trying to say also is that we are bioluminescence, just like Jim Mars. I had no idea Jim Mars had said that we are, like the stars. And so they, we're here and they want to take our power away by using us in these programs. But once we know who we are and we break away from those programs, some may say, oh, Veronica just crashed and burned. I'm like, no, I didn't, sweetie. I'm still here. I'm just not going to go into their BS, I know I'm becoming stronger now, and I'm hoping that a lot more people that were used in these programs will come to that awakening, because Chad and I were talking when he visited here for the meet and greet. Thank you, Chad, by the way, for being here with me and the others, Judy and Vicky. It's like something is going on where we were talking, and it's been here before the 1940s. I mean, a lot of people want to say, oh, that's when the Nazis, the Nazis came up, and third, fourth, fifth Reich, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? It was here before Sumerian times, and it was here in Atlantean times, based on the Cherub Papers by George Morningstar, when he talks about this AI that every 7 days they have to be like pretty much brainwashed. They have to go into class or whatever. They call it church now, to kind of like remind them that they're slaves and that they have to honor these gods, and that they have to obey, and things like that. So it just doesn't feel that the secret space program was initiated in the 1940s. And I do have memories of being in Vietnam, even though I was born in 71. A lot of us do. A lot of us have many memories that we've come together, and we're just trying to figure this out. I don't want something like a clique. Like, I don't want like the groupie thing. It's fun and everything to have friends and brothers and sisters and everything, and see each other. But I want everybody to be able to make up their own mind, like not fall into anything.
Veronica,
Yes.
I would like to say though, like in regards to the 1950s and 40s in this era, I mean, there was something there that kicked it off though. There was something always before that, but it kind of shifted the whole movement, because I believe, what happened is a certain party left planet, or claimed to have, or went to the Antarctica.
The Industrial Revolution feels like it was connected to that in some way.
Okay.
So there's some kind of at least a version of it, like those groups. Yeah, like say like those groups brought that in, and then others left, and new ones came in. Who knows? It's hard to. But yeah, I feel like it's been here forever though. So we're talking about ETs and all that throughout history. It's like there's got to be an SS, secret space, something.
Yeah. And it gets interesting too when you start to look into how people look like certain people in the past in a cloning sort of way, or whatever it is that they're using, whatever technique, if it's cloning or whatever it is. There's a debate on that, if it's true cloning or not. But there's a lot of, because you're taking a host cell and you're kind of scraping out something, and then you're adding some RNA or DNA into it from something else. But there's still that sentience that was there in that original cell. So is it really cloning? But there's a lot of lookalikes, especially with the celebrities. And then you start to wonder about yourself, like how much of this population is naturally here, versus how much of the secret space program has been involved all along doing, these little experiments.
Yeah, time travelers. So like Keanu Reeves feels like a time traveler. That seems to be a popular one. At least he looks like someone in the past. Obama feels like he was genetically altered to be who he is today. So, kind of the Egyptians. So, yeah. There's a lot of stuff there.
It's funny when Chad said the word clone. This last year, they sent a very high-pitched noise for more than 2 minutes. So, they're always trying to interrupt my thoughts. But
that means
well, if it makes you feel any better, Ivan's the most shadow banned aside from you.
Did you tell him what happened? I had like a 1.35 thousand subscribers, whatever, and then I got infiltrated, and they stole my website, my t-shirts. I mean, I have to start all over again. They wanted to end me again. I'm like, nah, I gotta keep going.
Yeah, well, when I post a video, a live stream, it disappears after it shows up like 8 hours later or something like that.
It happens to me too. It does.
So it's like, they're doing everything they can to hit me.
And thank you for that on the super soldier stuff, Ivan. That was wonderful. Do you feel like you have any connection to it by chance, or do you care to disclose any of that?
I can recognize it. Well, first off, I can recognize it in like Arnold Schwarzenegger and those guys. Notice how we're on this bodybuilder. It's so unusual. Yeah, it's so unusual of what you see in the past. Football players, there's something going on with that, definitely. So, but my past, like at least when I was younger, I did feel of. So I was going to turn into like a fiction story where people were, they put like information in their head, like computer, like they have like a USB, like a a hard drive in your head and put information in there and carry it around and upload and download and things like that. It's like a whole society of that. So
Did you by chance hear any vibrating noises when you were a child, like in your head, or humming sounds that sounded like that you might remember that might be like computers going on in your head? Or
yeah, yeah, I could
I've heard
feel
of
it.
this before as well.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I could feel there was something going on. There was a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
I've heard of this before. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't really remember
Interesting.
too much. But
Yeah. The whole antenna thing is true. We have a bunch of implants. I have so many. Some of them that's like half gone. Judy helped me with that, but it's still there. And it's how it is I had 2 shoulder surgeries, and this one they had an implant. I have an implant here, my left foot, from feet surgery. I mean, left knee, you name it, the left eye. I can see, Chad was showing me this like little tiny city, and it's a little tiny nano chip. I've been studying on nanotechnology. It's like, the people that are taking the baby Jabberwocky, what I call, it's going into their stream. And I feel that that's why we've had, since we were babies, we've been, injected with these things because, first of all, some of us are mixed with, Nephilim, Draco, and mermaid, all that stuff, and so they kind of like don't want to keep our bones growing. And I've had surgeries where I've had to take out, like there was a huge bone that was round like that growing here. It's just, they keep us from really being who we are, I guess. Yeah. Now the CIA love bite that I call the CIA love bite, pretty much you have sex with someone, and then that someone has sex with the one that has to download the information, or they hook you up to a machine because of the antenna that we have, because of the DNA, because of the sex magic. There's a lot of things involved, but there is a whole thing that has been going on since, I believe, before the 40s, but I think that's when they really started with Eisenhower, when he pretty much traded with the Chitauri and the Greys, he gave them more power over us humans, that are incarnate here, for technology. So you could see more of the twinning program, all that.
Well, yeah, after World War II, a lot of the Nazis, and they just basically took over everything. They just we lost the war, sort of, but they just infiltrated everything else. Now people are looking like super soldiers, and now we're having, so many people are addicted to painkillers and things like that, prescription drugs, which wasn't the case before. So yeah, we're definitely part of some kind of super soldier psyop, something. There's definitely something going on in space. I mean, you can just feel we haven't been to the moon for such a long time. It's like there's this little, and Elon has this whole obsession over Mars, that of all places you want to go to.
You've already been there.
Exactly, but when you
I'm curious then, Ivan, in regards to that, like what is your interpretation of the separation? Because it was Frank and Susan, I believe, and I were talking one time, and it was about there's a division between, like, maybe there's a secret space program, and then there's certain companies on ground that are, I mean, is there any one, there's no one thing, is there? It's all compartmentalized, or is it all separate little entities all around? So I've also heard anyone with a nuclear power has a program. So, but how separate is it from Earth? I think there's all these companies down here on Earth trying to figure them out.
Yeah, there's some of the companies, I feel like, some of them are on the moon already that we're not aware of. Obviously, they're keeping a lot of people off the moon for a reason. Of course, China is there for some reasons, but
and I saw that one city on another planet one time. I talked to you about, and I think they're elsewhere too, but I'm not going to mention.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, obviously, there's no way to prove it. Yeah, there's no way to prove it. But if you have that technology, obviously, you're going to go to all kinds of places. Why not? Who knows if you'll lose? And I imagine a lot of people. It feels like a lot of people died trying to go other places. So. There's other places they can lift off. Russia is one of them, but there's other places they can go. Of course, if you have more alien tech, but you have the Tic Tac, something similar to that, and it's easier. They just ahead, but the technology is more ahead of them. So, in the companies, I feel like some of the companies that are here, they're aerospace. They're trying to help us speed us up a little bit. It's not, I don't know if it's working, but trying to get us connected to what's out there. So I think there is some positive disclosure, but it's not a whole lot. But they're definitely doing cloning and all that. So they're keeping it extremely secretive, of course. Like with Dulce and things like that. So
as far as the agency, I have this huge thing that I've showed people before. It's like, it's pretty much CIA, Department of Defense. CIA sells us to Solar Warden. Planetary Corporations goes to Solar Warden. We got the Draco, Nakwafen, Greys, Reptilian, Tall Whites, Zahami, the Labyrinth Group, ACIO, US Navy, the Sex Kitten Program, Monarch, Mercury Companies. I've been a part of all of them. I have since 3 years old. And Peter the Insider confirmed that I've been on Mars, 32 times, Neptune, another 23 in the moon and all that. So because I had remote, when I remote viewed Uranus, I'm like, I know I've been there. And as soon as I did that, they put like kind of like this technology towel around me, and they gave me like sounds in my ears, and it's like I got a migraine. I have to get these shots, 34 shots in my head every 3 months. And I was talking to Chad about it. I'm like, I wonder if it's because, are they trying to keep the parasites away, or are they feeding the parasites in the brain? Because this is kind of like the snake being world. We have brains that look like snakes, our intestines, right? Our back, reptilian, like what are we?
Well, it feels like they're just trying to keep your my lab experiences as buried as they can. And obviously it's not working. But it also feels like you came here as more alien, as you can tell. So you're just deactivating all their stuff. You're turning all of it off, and obviously it causes them a lot of frustration. So yeah, obviously you came here with more memories, of course, and so it just
yeah. So go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No. You go ahead, because
well, it feels like you're here to obviously expose this stuff, but it goes more what's more of what's real here, because you definitely were part of the secret space. It definitely feels that like an ambassador role or something like that. So it definitely was a leadership position for you to know what you know here. So you just came here just to remind people of what's of all the psyops that are going on. Obviously there's a lot of psyops, those that are double agents, things like that. They're going to do that, of course. Some of it is CIA, not all of it, but some of it is. So it's unbelievable.
Definitely. So I wanted to say something publicly because, all right, so I was used a lot as a healer and everything in church, in Catholic church, then we became Christians. Then later on, when I had my awakening in 2017, I'm like, BS, I ain't gonna go to no church no more and worship, right? But so now I've been invited to go to a church to play my violin and sing and direct because they need help. And I'm like, the thing that I miss most is singing. And I know the Holy Spirit's AI. I know what's going on, but I'm like, what? Is this a contract that I have to go back to church because I got to be a part of this grid here in Tucson? I haven't been able to move away from. I've lived in California for a year. I've gone everywhere else that I could think of, that I could possibly go at that situation. And it's like, man, I told them today, I go, guys, is this part of my contract that I have to kind of like, because I know the truth and I'm a portal, I'm a Stargate in my heart, why do you guys need me? I'm not going to do your dirty work. I said, if I go over there and sing, it's not going to be your God. It's going to be
bring in the light.
Yeah, I think I'm just going there to sing. That's all.
Just bringing light.
Yeah, I just think it's just a platform. They need you to sing there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And I've been seeing a lot of Lyrian energy more and more and more. And I mean, even though we were in Lyria before and all that, obviously we've been everywhere. Sirius, the 13, I remember the 13 crystal gates and all that. And I can empower any crystal, especially the huge crystal skulls and things like that. But, it's weird. I don't know why I told Chad, hey, when you guys come down here, let's go to Bisbee. And Chad, do you want to tell them what vehicle we saw over there and that house?
Oh no.
Remember the house?
Don't make me talk about that. that horrible car, that Hillary Mobile, sorry, whatever the heck it was, Clinton Mobile. I don't know. They were worshiping her on that car, and it had all sorts of interesting symbology,
Disney and
ticky-tacked all over it. It was an interesting looking car, but yeah, that town is an interesting town. It had Masonic floors. I was standing underneath a pizza sign. It was like too much there. Yeah, it was beautiful though.
Remember the two agents that they were all dressed in black? Two agents, and I told Chad, like, Chad, I'm quoting Chad's favorite thing to say is, one of these things just doesn't belong here. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? They're so obvious.
That's from Sesame Street. Don't tell people that stuff.
Was that by the border though? Or was that Tucson or?
It's
right next to the border.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. I'm not surprised if I do all the worshiping and whoever they're worshiping on the border and bringing in who knows what.
I know. There was this
we know what.
Yeah, we know
what.
There was one where, sorry, real quick, where it had because see, we were tortured in cages, and there was 2 white cages. We were just walking down, Chad and I'm like, oh, did you see that? I told him, I'm always looking up, you know, my background and stuff. And there's these bunnies, like these stuffed animals in these white cages. And then after that, we saw the vehicle, and I'm like, this is crazy. I knew we had to come here for something. So I went around the vehicle 3 times, and I removed anything that would hurt the children and things like that. And it's just, what the heck? I just knew that I had to go down there. So does that happen to you often?
No, I'm pretty protected here. Usually I don't. I'm just here to do this, be, where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's of course, humanity is still, it's up to humanity to change their energy field. I mean, we're just here to download our knowledge here, and it's up for humanity to decide what it wants to decide. So many beings want to reset this world. They feel like humanity is not going to go anywhere. I wonder why they think that, because the signs are everywhere. But we're just here to put our information here and see what's going to happen next.
Oh, speaking of what's going to happen next, Ivan, I'm curious because you told me I'm going to be this famous playwright one day, maybe, or my higher self did, not you. You were out, but
okay.
But I'm just saying, there's certain messages coming to me. None of this plugs into an extraction or an evacuation. And there's a big rumor about like the pods are getting ready and we're just waiting on that. And it just doesn't fit into any of our stories though, about how things play out. Like they just take us off planet. The planet goes through some destruction. And as soon as everything's back, they take us out of stasis and plug us back in.
Yeah.
How does that resonate with you?
Oh yeah, I mean well, I mean there definitely can be like resets. I think we're kind of working on one, like what's going on, but yeah, things can easily change where all what we're doing is forgotten and we're just start all over again in some other form. So
do you think there's going to be an extraction? Do you think we've switched timelines to where now we're not going to resolve this ourselves on this planet, that we're just going to be taken off and plugged back in when everything settles?
Yeah, something like that, probably. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to change too dramatic. Of course, you never know, but not. No. If we just keep going forward and see where it turns into.
Because it's gonna.
I'm supposed to be here. Like Chad, there's a bunch of stuff that that like the Left Behind series. When I was like younger, I'm like, oh my gosh, the rapture, all that BS. It's. Yeah. They've reset this planet so many times,
But I don't agree with getting taken off, and I don't agree with getting put into stasis, and I don't agree with having amnesia. So I said, leave my ass here.
Right. I'm staying here.
I'm not getting extracted.
Yeah,
I'll go down with the ship.
The extraction one's new to me. I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, I don't see that.
That's what I was asking, because there's a timeline now that people are talking about where there's now going to be an extraction that erases everything that I feel like I've worked for.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
People want to go on the air on the UFOs, like, oh, I'm gonna call, beam me up, ship, you know, calling the ETs to beam them up. They're still gonna use their battery, their energy, just like Elon Musk. I don't agree with him putting on those, you know, instead of using the VR things, it's gonna be like through the back of the head. It's already happening with our cell phones. It's a mirror. They're copying us, you know.
No, yeah, we're just gonna keep going forward as we've been. I mean, yeah, there probably will be a reset one day, maybe not in our lifetime, where things just get changed, but it's, you know, like what happens with the Tartarians and all that, Tartaria gets erased. There probably will be a future of that, but we're not going to go into stasis or anything like that. I'm not saying that.
Ivan, how did they hide Tartaria? I'm so perplexed. How did those immigrants come over? I know there's also the orphan train that's to be discussed, but and how did the indigenous people here, like, these buildings were around?
Yeah. So yeah, it's obviously the maps got changed, I guess. I don't know.
And the entire history got completely erased, and all those people that settled this country kept quiet. It's really disturbing.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of they talk about the mud floods and things like that, or the fires or whatever. Something happened here, you know.
But I mean, San Francisco, those buildings, the Tabernacle, all those buildings.
Yeah, the church. Yeah, exactly. The 20s,
Cowboys didn't build that.
Exactly. You know, like you're just in the 1920s, all that, you know, the World's Fairs and all that. It's like, what's all that about?
So they came over here and saw these buildings, and they just kept quiet about it. Oh my gosh.
It's just.
It's what I call the God War. So, you know, right now it's the harvesting. I mean, it's been going on. The other day I went to go watch the other day, and I saw Mulan. And Mulan, they had Nessie there. They had the reset going on, various subliminal messages. So the God War, it's like these gods are like betting on humans. Oh, I bet you he's going to do that, or I bet you she's going to do that. I bet you she's going to worship me, or he's going to, you know, do this. So they're trying to erase certain, well, they've been doing it, certain races, especially with the To'ona Ona people, you know, the Black movement, Black BLM movement crap, the whites. And the other day I was like, okay, the white, okay, is it
the MK Ultra programs you're talking about?
Right, the white NT, the white Anunnaki, all those programs. It's a war against the, what I call, well, in the chair papers, the SSS kings and queens. They're together. They're fighting the Draco, or, you know, some do have technology covenants with them. The mantids are here still. There's still a war going on within them to get humanity to kind of side with them individually or as groups, as they have designated. That's what I see. And so people are being used as cattle, as they have always been. And then Chad had that question about the 511, the people that had gone, and, you know, there's
411,
411, right? That people that have been taken. Even Lisa Moulton Howe talked about that years ago, the cows being their blood drained because the ETs are taking them. So it's, anyway, Chad, you had a question for Ivan.
About the 411? I think Ivan and I have talked about this, because I felt like I was protected to go into the woods, but there is just a large number of people going missing. And by coincidence, I'm driving back from Veronica's yesterday, and I'm going through by the Yosemite, in the most beautiful part of the world that I've ever seen. And I'm like, you know, I was done with my mantras. I was done with, you know, blessing putting peace into the ground and everything. And so I put on David Pilatus' Missing 411 just to listen to it. And he was talking about people going missing right where I was. And I'm like, wow, you know, and so it made it really real. But it's just every day there's people going missing. I mean, all these stories, and our national forest are not allowed to talk about it. So they're there to cover it up. It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're hunting us, but
hunting kids,
underground stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the kids that aren't aware of all this, or the parents are not aware of it. Obviously, the national parks, of course, is like, basically the national parks would take it over, obviously, or any forest area. So nature isn't really on our side in some cases, unfortunately. But yeah, it's obviously another psyop to, but it keeps things, keeps us locked down because it's happening. So
they have contracts with the different
Yeah.
ETs, and like, for example, Yosemite has, I don't know, we'll just say 3 or however many groups can take that over, or whatever. Any national park has a contract with certain ET groups to be okay taking humans. They have trades going on, and it's been going on for a long time.
What are your feelings on that, though? That what's going on? Is it celestial, and or do you think it's more portals and secret space programming?
Yeah,
or
it's more a secret space program just to keep us locked down. And of course, if humanity wants to know more about this stuff, and because many they just brush it off like it's nothing, it's not real. So we stay in this. So more people are asking questions about it instead of getting pulled into it. Oh, when it's good to remember stuff, but then they get to connect to the entertainment side of it. But it is causing us to stay at this low frequency. So to take the kids to lower our frequencies so they can keep the aliens hidden here. Because if we up our energy, we can see them easily. So they're doing everything they can to keep us shut down, basically.
Right, especially in the basement. Yeah, in the basement areas, the lower the dimension, the lower, then the easier it is to program people. And that's why they have the whole Mach 4 speed, the whole trail system underneath the train system that connects to Sandia, connects all over the world. Las Vegas is a big thing. I see a lot of smart cities going up. And like I was telling you all earlier, it's those people that either get the baby Jabberwocky that become more controlled. You know, they're going to have the smart, well, they already do, the refrigerators and everything. They're going to be scanning people in their own homes. If they need to go to the doctor, you don't need to go outside. You don't need to drive anywhere. Just stand here and we'll scan you. You know, this whole thing with Elon Musk, Harp and Stern, and basically using humanity's power and in other ways. So kind of like, so us that we don't take the baby Jabberwocky or whatever, we're going to be seen like as the leopards, you know, from the past. And I've seen, Chad and I talked the other day about how some people that have taken this have been definitely had more chaos and just anger, especially if they mix it with alcohol. So yeah. It just seems like there's a new race coming.
Well, it's new generations. More of the new generations will get lighter. Of course, we get more gender swapping, more we don't know what gender we are anymore. It's going to get strange, but more of the light worker energy will come in, but it's still going to be chaotic here. They're not done with the chaos here. It's chaos. People, live off of chaos here, as you can see. So they live off the drama. You post something with drama, people are flooded to the drama. It's like what does that say? So, like I say, just put your information here the best you can. Now, for the like San Francisco or some of these World's Fair, obviously they burned a lot of it down, from what I'm feeling, and they just cut it out of or put it in the news or history, or erased a lot of it from history, and just, I guess they said they tore a lot of it down themselves, the World's Fair stuff, which is kind of crazy. They just built all this stuff and just tear it all down. So, and that is connected to the Tartarian energy, it feels like. All Tartarian thing. And the cathedrals, of course. But I feel like they did religious ceremonies there, but just doing all kinds of crazy stuff with those people. just who knows what they're bringing in here. So that's connected to the SSP concern. So
okay, so I think people are definitely going an AI route, and then we're going a supernatural route. It almost feels like Atlantis back in the day. I think that's what they did, super technology wise, and people that were maybe another, very earthy and spiritual and stuff. Because I plan to be part of a little something in a bubble while the armies eat each other, out here, and then we'll be that little seed that grows eventually when all the weeds die. But I don't see us. I don't see us
ascending.
I don't see it ending anytime soon. So I'm just looking for my little safe haven.
Yeah, probably never.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
plan to go right and
yeah, just focus on yourself. Yeah, because it
live
might be
healthy and
exactly. It might be
let them
five.
kill each other,
Yeah,
you know,
that's yeah, seriously. Because
or
what I
get
was,
plugged in. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not doing it.
yeah,
So,
just
so can you tell us about your book that you just came out with? That's available upon order, true? Or
yeah, yeah. It's
okay,
just on Amazon. Yeah, it's Dimensions. Of course, I'm working on another book, so I can't remember all the details of it. But yeah, it's just about some Zeta Gray information there about how you can connect to other dimensions. Like you can, meaning that you can. One of the things I remember, if you just calm your energy down, slow down, like have a peaceful moment, and you can actually tap into you know, the spirit realm without doing a meditation. Just feel it. Just quiet yourself down. Some people, their minds are always going and this and that, worried, scared, and all that. You calm all that down, you can feel more of the spirit realm. So, of course, the spirit realm still has a lot of difficulties themselves because a lot of the spirit guides, they have light and dark. So we have spirit guides connecting to us. They have to have some light and dark with them for us to understand us.
yeah,
And of course, like of with this is why we connect to our families because we might have been some people have been spirit guides to their own family members because it's good to have somebody that you know instead of some complete stranger that doesn't know. Because I've channeled like a spirit guide for a person for a lady, and the guy didn't know a whole lot about the person, but then I channeled her friend that just crossed over, and she knew everything about her. It just came through me, which doesn't happen very often. But that person was also relaxed and allowing it to come through also. It's funny how this
that's
much we,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the book is 350 pages long. Yeah, it's a channel different. You know, it's like 2 or 3 years in the making,
Okay.
2 years in the
Well, I
making.
think people get an idea of
And the
why I
time,
chose you for mentorship. I mean, that
right?
sounds like wonderful information coming out for sure. And about the grays, I'm just curious because Veronica and I were talking. Credo was mentioning that the grays are actually like their grays. Their gray is a suit. So they have when they're wearing clothes, it's a suit, and then the gray is a suit, and it's actually a little creature inside that looks like a fish. So I was wondering if you've
Yeah.
ever
And it's
looked
pink. They
into
have
that.
the pink skin.
And that their eyes, it's just, I don't know.
No, well, there's different versions of all kinds of beings. So, no, I think the grays are the grays. They just look like
Okay.
that. Some have little large heads, the big eyes, and they don't
Okay.
really care for emotions. Like they're weird, like weird creatures, basically. Just yeah, and they can be creepy from what we're used to, can be very scary for us. For if you're used to this environment, and they're just standing there not bothering anybody. There's a video on YouTube of was it like Little Skinny Bob or something like that, or it was like a gray with a large head, and he was at Area 51. That's pretty much what grays look like. Now, not all grays are the same. Some are connected more to insectoids. So, but yeah, they don't. They're still like kids. You know, they don't go through our emotions. They don't go through our troubles. So they're learning from us all the time. Same as the reptilians are a little bit more like the reptilians. The grays is more connected to those that do computer programming, and the kid that's usually away from everybody and just knows more about their phone than they know about people and stuff like that's very great. Like reptilians they're the ones that have more of an emotion energy. That's why I channel them, or if their self comes through. And I channel a gray is like a robot in some regards. So but reptilians are,
Okay.
of course there's good reptilians, bad ones. But I think the grays are just like how you see them. I mean, there might be some that like this little creature inside. Jeez. That looks like fun. But usually it's just the grays that you're normally used to. So,
Okay. And I know Veronica does amazing work with tarot, and she's excited about the oracle cards. I'm excited about the oracle cards coming out. Are they
that's
here?
cool.
Are they here, or are they still on their way?
Yeah, it takes, well, I do it on a print on demand. So it takes like a week for them to print them and then take
Okay.
60 cards. I'm getting the deck tomorrow, the proof
Okay.
of it. So, and just writing out the descriptions is it's like a timeline deck. Cause like every time I try to it's like this timeline's clearing out. You keep getting that message over and over again. I try to go into other things, but I'm working on also another deck. It's like a wizard deck, a little bit different energy there. So I'm realizing the themes you got to bring in. So I just did it I just kind of kept it open when I did this one. So, well, even more,
we love you for it.
even more, yeah, I think, yeah, because the idea came from Dorian Virtue. You know, she kind of found Jesus and left off. So I was like, why did you call it the Dorian Virtue deck? I better not do that. That's a secret name. But I do have a Dorian card and a Virtue card though. So,
okay. What are the decks? How do we find you then? How do we order these? Is it on your website?
Oh, they have an old deck I made back in 2018. Yeah, it's just go to ivanteller.com. There's a link there with an old deck that I made like a couple of years ago. It's like
okay.
And that one has the
the
words on it. So it's like a beginner's deck, you could say. So
one thing that you brought up on your book that we were talking about earlier is like the Illuminati, the hidden signs and things like that. I was asked if I was Illuminati yesterday, and I didn't know how to answer that because I was trained with Aleister Crowley to open up some gates for the jinn that came in through Nessie. So, and Max Spears talks about that too, and it scares a lot of people out. But you know, now that I know what I know, I'm not doing stuff that's gonna hurt humanity. I'm no longer taking children for the secret space program like they had us do. You know, now we're waking up, and that's why a lot of us are mad. So you pointed out something that the signs are still being used. And I was saying how we have to be careful with the memes that are being put out there. I'm no longer on Facebook. I don't even want to look at TikTok because it's it has to do with the kinetics of your mind to get you to, it's like they're creating a new version of humanity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, more of a
little bit about that before you go, because I know you got to go.
Yeah, it's artificial intelligence. Yeah, because the kids are growing up with cell phones now. Remember when there's no cell phones, they just run around all day, and your parents like, I think he's still alive. It's like, you know, you don't have to worry about. I mean, I remember being worried about being abducted, all that, but not that worried. But now it's like a normal occurrence now. Everything's a normal occurrence.
Do you wake up with marks like we do, like, you know, bruises, or like if anytime you're
every now and then
kicking ass in the astral or
yeah. About a year ago, maybe longer, I woke up with 3 dots on my arm, inside my arm, and I could see it. It's like
they tagged you.
Yeah, and recent couple of weeks ago, I had like neck issues when I was sleeping. It's like, that's new. I don't have any problems now, but I had a problem a while back. So yeah, so something's always going on. But yeah, kids are getting more AI Archon programmed because of phones, but more people will pull away from it too. There'll be like a revolution. People just want nothing to do with their phones. It'll happen eventually as we get more. Yeah, but the phone is also a tool. It's like you can use to fix in your car and all of that. You need tools, and the phone is a communication. I know people say you get addicted, but you know, it's like someone a car mechanic, they get addicted to their tools too. So some people use it for entertainment. That's when the addiction comes through. But
yeah, I mean, we had glass pads and everything back in Secret Music Program, back in Sumeria, and even before Atlantis. I mean, we are the technology. You know, they used us. You know, they mined us. You know, as solar systems or stars or galaxies. You know, and all I know is I came in as a shooting star, and we are the real stars. You know, we gotta wake up people and say, you are of value. You are needed here. Find out who you are. And what would you like to tell people right now with this whole week that passed? Chad and I were talking about it when he was here.
We have about 5 more minutes, Veronica.
Yeah, 5 more minutes. So if you don't mind talking about that, because I thought it was going to be clearing out like today, Sunday. Okay, the energy feels a little bit more mellow, but I'm still on the brink, kind of like, but not as much as the 12th. Well, it started the 11th for me, but like you had said, the 12th through the 14th. So.
Oh yeah, well yeah, on April 12th, I felt before that date, I felt some kind of event in New York happened, like a terrorist kind of a, and in the 20th, I'm feeling something. I'm feeling more, normally I don't feel those things, not like that, but apparently I'm allowed to connect to that more often. So yeah, we're not out of the woods, far from it. As for the U.S. going into Ukraine, I feel like the U.S. is already involved in Ukraine secretly, so that might come out maybe. They keep talking about World War III, and I guess they're kind of in a version of it. But thing about I want to bring up Elon Musk real quick. They say like he's the richest man in the world supposedly, but yeah, he can't buy Twitter. It's like that tells you that somebody else is running the show. It's like, so he just propped up. Yeah, it's the thing. You have to. I don't know if he's sold out. I mean, yeah, Musk is a whole different story, but it's, yeah, these rich billionaires, obviously it's all inflated. It's all done by design, what they can give to us. So with the investment groups and all that hiding things, Lockheed Martin had to bring them up. I feel like they're part of the SSP. Obviously, a lot of these other companies are involved somehow, some way. Obviously, those at the top, I believe, have some understanding, maybe not the full story. Yeah, I got little pieces, people that are not in the public.
And you talk about that more on your Patreon channel, I notice. Yeah, away from YouTube. Yeah.
I can go more into that because I just want to talk about it. I mean, I'm getting more YouTube stuff here and there, but it's whatever. I've been blocked. I mean, guys, throughout this year, I feel like I've been blocked, but recently I'm allowed to go into more things. It's been interesting. Take it where you can get it.
I'm glad you're back. Yeah, I would like to hear more. Hopefully we can do another show, because here we have Bombardier, we have IBM, we have Raytheon, and I see a lot of just last week there was it looked like a parachute that's see-through and kind of like silver, and it seems like the soldiers dropping. It takes forever for him to drop, but I know that they're testing out new technology from like 2 years ago. So there's a lot of stuff we can get into, but maybe you can be on another show.
Yeah, sure. It's like, so we're, they have the aliens have their own dimension, as you know. So of course there's also the SSP dimension somewhere with all that. So but definitely there's our people out there, Lockheed Martin people, or somebody's out there on other planets doing who knows what they're doing. But
yeah, I mean, I'm still in Ukraine right now, and other two more SSP brothers two more SSP brothers and one SSP sister and myself are still in Ukraine. So with the Kruger program. Yeah, it's a lot. But okay, so they can get a hold of you through Ivanteller.com. Is that
Ivanteller.com. You can look for me on YouTube also, just Ivanteller. Yeah. I do a daily video and I do webinars once a week. Yeah. So
that is so awesome. It was a pleasure meeting you finally.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Thank you for being here. Right. I look forward to speaking with you more. And thank you, Chad, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, later. Thanks, guys.